Hello, welcome to Pilates Matwork. And today we're going to do a fun practice, at least I hope it's fun, with the band. So if you don't have a band, no worries. You can use a strap on some of these exercises. And especially if you're newer or newer to me, new to the band, I recommend not using the band until you've mastered form without it. Form will not magically get better by incorporating props or the band with it. So go at your level, do what you need to do, take breaks, don't do anything that you know you shouldn't be doing. It'll all be good. So we're going to start standing today. And just so that we don't have to bend down and grab it, just take your band and just have it just around the back of your neck here and just let it be here. Oh, and one other thing too. I probably won't use it, but I always have it available in case. A folded blanket, I've got that. So if you like that for knee cushion, if you're going to take knees down when we do planks or push-ups, that's great to have just in case you need it. Okay, so let's start. Let's take about parallel hip width apart. So hips, knees, and toes are going to track in this alignment here. And I'm trying to press into big toe and pinky toe mounds in the heel. And maybe when I do that, I can lift my toes a little bit and feel those arches lift as well. Good. Now I'm just going to lower the toes, but I'm going to keep all those engagements. I have soft knees. So here's an example of locked knees. Here's soft knees. By having soft knees, that allows my tailbone to be a little bit softer. I'm going to zip up from pubic bone to behind the navel, rolling the shoulders back. And just to give you a little bit of a side view of that, what that looks like. You're nice and tall here. So soft knees, locked knees, be nice and soft. Good. From here, we're just going to let that chin come to the chest. Feel the stretchy in the back of the neck. Good. Inhale, exhale, come back to center. Pause here as you inhale, find expansion in that rib cage. And then as you exhale through the mouth, pursing the lips, feel a little bit more belly button into the spine there. Good. Now from here, we'll take the chin, we'll take the gaze to maybe where your ceiling and the wall meet. Feel that little chin stretch. If you need something a little bit deeper here, take your jaw forward. Inhale, exhale back to center, staying with the breath. We'll take right ear to right shoulder. Good. Now just to give you a different view of that, it looks like this. You can extend that opposite arm out. Same hand here as ear. Maybe you take it up, you just rest it above the other ear. Gravity will provide the stretch, so there's no need to pull or tug. And then we'll release and we'll come back center. Same thing, other side, taking that ear to the shoulder. You can stay here. You can reach it long. Maybe you want to take that hand up, providing a different stretch. Ooh, there's definitely my tighter side. And then we'll release and we'll come back to center. Okay, let's take some big shoulder rolls here. Doesn't matter what direction you start with, just take them up and around. Good, and then let's reverse that. Opposite direction, really exaggerate the move. Really try to get in there. Good. All right. So from here, we're going to do some standing cat-cow. So from a side view, so my feet are still hip width apart. I'm just going to kind of sit back almost into a chair. I'm going to take my hands to my thighs. Notice how my spine is a little bit long here. Belly button is in. I'm going to round that spine. And then I'm going to tip that pelvis back, shine my heart forward. So here's your cow, here's your cat. And cow, and cat, and cow, and cat, and cow, and cat. Round, 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 coming all the way up. Good. Grab your strap. We're going to go into Pilates Vitality Wheel here. So I'm going to thread my strap. You can also do this with a band. I'm actually using the band, so you can also do this with a strap. Thread it between the pointer and the thumb. Come wider than the width of your body if you can. I'm going to take my band up overhead. I'm going to rotate to my left. As I reach and come down, my knees are bending. Good. I'm moving through center. I'm rotating. I'm coming up to the right. Now I'm going to reverse that This can also be done without a prop. Your arms will just relax down to their side versus being up overhead. Move with the breath. Inhale, exhale. And coming all the way back up where we started. Now take that band forward. Roll your shoulders back. I'm going to show you this from a side view. So we're going to we'll work on range of motion here. We're going to get a stretchy. So different people are going to do different things. So from here, and for this one, I like to take my legs just a little bit wider apart. Good. So I'm going to take it up and I'm going to take it back just a little bit. Notice how my rib cage is, I'm not really popping out or anything here. I'm keeping that good form. My belly button stays in and I'm going to take it down. We'll go again. Taking it up. Maybe you come back a little bit more this time. Be mindful. If your goal is to reach to the top of your hips today, maybe you need to have a wider grip. We want to keep the arms long. We don't want to bend the arms to come back there. So you want to find that length. And we're just going to move forward and back here. Your pace, your range of motion. Remembering your range of motion might not be my range of motion. So we work where we can work. And while you are seeing me take this all the way back to the top of my hips today, that's not what I can do every day. Good. Now from here, we're going to take it forward and we're going to take it back and hold it. You're going to hold it at your sweet spot and bearing in mind that your sweet spot might not be your maximum range of motion. So for me, you just saw me take this all the way to the top of my hips. Yeah. But this is right here is actually my sweet spot. This is where I get the greatest stretch. So this is where I'm going to hang out. And maybe I can reach a little bit longer from shoulder to fingertips, stretching that band out a little bit. I'm breathing and expanding that rib cage on my inhale. And then from here, I'm going to take that up and I'm going to take that down. Good. So from here, we're going to do a few little exercises standing with this band. Now, different people have different size bands. If you don't have a band, but you're thinking about it, couple things. Longer ones are going to be better than shorter ones. It'll give you more options. And they do come in different types of resistance, light, medium, and heavy. So I'm using medium today, but that might not be true for everyone. So as you step on the inside of the band, you want to make sure that the band is flat and you want to make sure you've got equal slack on both sides. Different grips for different people. I like to just hold the ends. Some people like to wrap around. It just kind of depends on you, your band, and how much band you have. But from here, actually, when you turn here, we're just going to do some standing roll downs here. So find your nice standing position that we did towards the beginning of class, and then zip up from pubic bone behind the navel. We're going to nod the chin. Good. And you want to control this on the down, and you're going to go to your body's limit, which may or may not be the floor. Most of us are going to put a bend in the knees here because we have low back issues or tight hamstrings. And then once you've come to your limit, pressing strong into the feet as you start from the tailbone, and you're going to come all the way up. And as you come back up to that nice tall stand, you're going to feel the resistance from the band. As we come up here, let's use that to just open the chest. And we'll come back to standing. We're going to take that again. Inhale, exhale, we're going to nod. Good. So every now and then you'll see me lock out my knees. I'm always reminding myself not to do that. A years-long habit of standing that way. So it'll probably take me years long to get out of that habit. Good. And then coming back. And nice and tall here. Okay, so I'm going to turn and face you here. We're going to use this into some side bending work. So from here, we're going to start by going to the left. Good. So we're not doing anything with the right side. It's just kind of just coming along. Good. Think about when you bend, try to squeeze the low rib cage and the top of the hip together. So really get into the oblique, belly button stays in, go right into the other side. Good. So this first little part here, we're just kind of getting a feel for our form. We're getting a feel for what this feels like on each side. So when we go into our next version here, then we kind of know how it feels and any adjustments we need to make. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to stay on the left side only, and then we're going to add on again there. So we're just going to side bend to the left and center and left and center and left and center, adding on to the left. Pull with that right arm, lengthen, and come up. To the left, and we pull. And could we make that a little bit smoother as we come back to center? Good. One more time. And come here. Going to the right side now. Just a few times. Good. All right, here we go with that add-on. Going to the right, and we pull. And we release and come back center. To the right, and we pull and release and come back center. Could we make that a little bit more smoother? Good. Pulling as we side bend, lengthening as we come to center. Good. And notice if it feels easier for you on one side than the other. It usually does for me. We've all got that tighter side and a little bit more open side, or as I like to say, the side that likes to cooperate and the side that doesn't. So from here, I'm going to step one foot out. So I just happen to step out my left foot. So we'll do this on the right side. And if you did the opposite, no worries. We're going to do the same thing on both sides. So now I've got my foot in here. I want equal slack on both sides. This is going to be a little bit of resistance with the span, but this is ultimately a balance challenge. So if you're not very good in balance, I would lose the band. I would also consider coming to a wall or holding on to a sturdy piece of furniture. So from here, my left leg, my free leg, hip, knee, and toe are going to come forward. I'm going to have a little micro bend there for support. Your other arm can be wherever it is you need to be. Good. And then you can make this harder or easier by your slack. And we're just going to lift and we're going to lower and squeeze. And 3. This is the first of 2 side leg work. And 5 and 6. Good. I'm going to come down here. Tiny little circles. Try to keep the pelvis stable. The larger the circle, the harder it is to be stable. Let's reverse. And you might find that one direction of your circle is easier or harder than the other. Woo! Good. Bring this down for a moment. Step in both 2 feet, just giving this left leg a break. We've got one more thing to do here. Good. So we'll come back, a little micro bend in the knee. We're going to internal and external. So what this is going to look like, I'm going to take my heel forward, and then I'm going to rotate and take my toe back. And I'm doing this with pelvic control. And toe. And 3. And 4. And 5. And 6. Good. We'll come back here. Take this left foot forward. Just give a little bit of a hinge here. Hamstring stretch number 1. Good. Coming back up. If you can, take that foot out of the strap. Take up this ankle. And again, you might have to hold on to something right up above the knee. Have a little seat. If the piece of furniture you're holding on to is a chair or a couch, you can also do this seated. Good. And we'll come up. We'll take that all to the other side. Good. Just sticking that foot in there, making sure you're equal slack on both sides if you're using the band. Good. Right leg, hip, knee, and toe face forward, little micro bend in this knee. Good. And then when you're ready, we're going to lift 1, 2, 3, 4, belly button in, 5, 6. Good. Go into the little circles. Find that pelvic stability. Good. Other direction. Good. Come in here. Give yourself a break for a moment. Now we're going to go to internal and external, the heel toe. So coming up, find your good form here. Good. Heel and toe. Whoops. Even teachers lose their balance. Heel and toe. And this is my side that I struggle with balance. Good. Heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. One more. Heel and toe. Good. Release that. You can drop that band if you want to. Take your supporting leg forward. Find hamstring stretch number 1. Now, when I do this, I'm hinging from the hip. My spine is long, so I'm not folding in here. Good. And then from here, the leg that you just worked in your band, good. We'll find that standing pigeon balance stretch challenge. Remember, this is going to also be done seated. And when you're ready, good. So from here, in the way that's best for your body, we're going to come down to a seat. So take your time to get there how you need to get there. Now, this is one of those places too where if you're someone that's super tight in hips or hamstrings, sitting up on a folded blanket, lifting your hips a little bit higher might be comfortable to you as well. But I'm going to come down here. I'm going to take my legs forward. Good. And before we get going, let's just do a nice little seated forward fold here. So just kind of coming forward, reach where you can reach. Don't worry about if you can touch your feet or not. We just go where we can go. And again, those of you that are tight, keep a little micro bend in your knees here. We never want to lock or try to jam them into the floor. And if you're super, super tight, just another tip, a roll that blanket, bath towel, hand towel, putting under your knees for support can be really helpful in stretching as well. And we'll come back up here. All right, so I'm going to grab the band again. And we're going to work on some half roll downs, and then we're going to keep adding on different components here. So I've got this band flat around both feet. This is very important. If this is bunched up, your band will roll, snap, and hit you in the face. You'll have a very bad day, okay? So always make sure your band is flat around your feet. Now from here, again, you wanna, before you decide your grip, you wanna make sure you've got equal slack on both sides. So here, I personally like to do a wrap. You don't have to, but the more you take your grip to the feet, the harder you'll make it. The closer you are to your trunk, the easier you'll make it. So bear that in mind. Good. So I'm going to keep my arms long here. I'm sitting up nice and tall. I'm zipping up from pubic bone behind the navel. I'm going to curve my spine, and I'm going to go to my point of control. Point of control is a point where you feel like, and if I go back any farther, I'm just going to collapse and fall back there. And or if you go back any farther, your feet are going to fly up off the floor. That's our cue that we want to stop. We want to stop right before we get to that point. And then from here, arms stay long. We're going to round, 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 and come forward, forward, forward. Rounding up to that tall seat. Inhale, exhale, round, round, round. Inhale, exhale, really reach. Coming down. Arms, it's okay to bend for the folding part. Good. Coming back up to a seat. Last one like this, and we'll add on. Good. And round, round, round. And come forward. Good. Now this time, we're going to hinge back. We're going to keep a long spine here because we're going to add rotation and some rows onto this. So arms are long. Good. Hinging back from the hips. Spine is long. Good. From here, I'm going to keep my elbows in. I'm going to pull for 1. Think about squeezing shoulder blades. 2, 3, 4. Release. Come all the way back up. Number 2. Inhale. Exhale. Taking it back. And we pull. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release. Come all the way back up. And again. So this is another reason why I like having different types of resistance, because as you become stronger, then you can increase your resistance. Or if you have a day and you just need to be lighter, then you can decrease your resistance to suit your needs. We're going to do this one more time. We're going to take it back. We're going to pull. We're going to hold it back there. So we're going to take it back. Good. We're going to pull. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it for a moment. Good. Now take both arms long. We're going to go into rotation with this row. My left arm will stay forward. I'm going to pull with the right and rotate, long spine, and then center. And other side. Center. Other side. Center. Side. Center. Side. Center. Side. Center. Side. Center. Long spine, tight abs. Breathe. One more time each side if you can. Good. Arms long. Hinge it up. Release that band. Find a forward fold. Good. All right. I'm going to put the band to the side for a moment. We're going to come into some saw prep work and then go into saw. And I'll show you a neat way to do saw with the band today as well. So I'm going to take my heels, or my feet, about as wide as the mat. And if you're not practicing on the mat, think about maybe a couple inches wider than your hip bones here. So again, support the back of your knees if you need to. Sit up on a blanket if you need to be higher. Flexion are in the feet, so toes are towards the face. Let's come into an anterior tilt of the pelvis here as well. So tailbone is going to rock back. Your hip bones are going to rock forward. Good. We're going to take our arms long here. We're going to go back into the C curve fold. So belly button stays in. Think about you're peeling yourself off from shoulder to tailbone off the edge of a wall. So if you were watching me, notice how I'm not hinging forward at the hips. And when I can come to more, maybe my ears and biceps are in alignment. And then starting from the tailbone, think about pressing yourself one bone at a time back into that wall. So it's that articulation, bone by bone stack. And we'll go again. Inhale, exhale. So this is called spine stretch forward. Some other people call it by different names, but it's all the same thing, accomplishes the same thing. Good. Let's take that one more time. And speaking of a wall, this is how practicing on the wall is how I trained myself to be able to do this. So never be afraid to practice this at the wall. Good. So I'm just going to kind of relax the shoulders here, roll, roll, roll. We're going to go into some side bending. So I'm going to take my arms up. Inhale, exhale. I'm going to side bend to my right. And when I do that, I'm keeping that bend in the torso. So both hips stay grounded, so my other hip doesn't come up. And again, I'm trying to squeeze low rib cage and hip together. Good. And then I'll come back up and go into the other side. And back up and back to the right. Good. And to the left. Good. And come back to center. Good. We're going to go into some rotation here again. So again, both hip bones stay grounded. We're not going to do the pulse today, but think about your arms, your torso are all moving as a single unit. So when I'm moving as a single unit, then my back arm doesn't come forward and do this funny stuff, okay? So think about a rod almost, so single unit. We're nice and tall, and we'll go to the other side. Hips stay grounded, and center, and right, and center, and left, and center. One more time. Right, center, left, center. Good. Just relax here, bounce, shake it out. So now we're going to go to the full saw. So I'm going to show you the saw without the band for those of you that need that option, and then I'll show you a cool one to do with the band. So you're basically for saw, we're putting all of those elements together in some way. So arms are out. I'm going to take my rotation. I'm going to get my C curve. I'm trying to saw the pinky toe off with the pinky finger. If you can't reach, you go where you can, and then we come back center. Good. And then same thing for the other side. Good. Now, those of you that want to add on the stretchy that you'll see the people with the band do, that one will look like this. You're going to rotate. You're going to round and reach. Your backhand is going to ground. You're going to come up. You're going to open. You're going to look. You're going to reach back there. You're going to feel that bicep and armpit stretch. You're going to come back over. You're going to reach, release, back to center. Okay. So those of us using the band, thread that between the pointer and the thumb, and we're going to come wide. So from here, big inhale, exhale, take it to your limit. We're going to come over towards the right. I'm going to reach. I'm going to plant my back hand. I'm going to come up, band people, watch the neck, watch the face. Coming back and round and back to center and rotate and reach. Plant that back hand. We're going to come up. We're going to open and round and center and rotate. Hips still stay grounded here. Reach. Plant that back hand. Coming up and open and round and reach. And we lift back to center. Last one, last time. Rotate. Round and reach. Planting that back hand. Open. Reach back there. Feel that stretch. And come forward. And back to center. Great job here. We're going to release this band for a moment, but keep it close by. We're going to come onto our back here. Good. So I'm just going to move on down. Good. So if you're like me and you've always got to adjust your clothes to be comfortable, take a moment and do that if you need to. But from here, we're going to have a bend in the knees. We're going to do some bridging. So hips, knees, and toes are going to track through. So I don't want my toes to turn out. I don't want them to turn in. Knees don't fall in or fall out either. Find your neutral spine. So from here, think about low tailbone, heavy and connected. You've got the natural curvature of the low spine. Think about your pubic bone and your hip bones being in the same plane. Okay, so one bone's not higher or lower than the other. My low rib cage is heavy and connected. I'm wide through the collarbone, and I'm just going to roll my shoulders under a little bit. I'm going to reach long from shoulders to fingertips. Good. Big inhale, exhale, rock that pelvis back, peel up one vertebra at a time. Your body will let you know when you should not come up any higher. Try to keep an even pelvis. And starting from the mid back, we're going to lower that. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen with each bone that you lower as you come back to neutral. Inhale, exhale, rocking it back, peeling it up. Reach, reach, reach. And we'll lower that back down. Good. If you need to take knees into your chest at any point during these, please feel free to do so. We're going to add on here with some marching work. So taking the feet back down, finding your good alignment. We're going to rock that pelvis back, finding your bridge. Good. Now from here, you really want to engage the core. We're going to pick up our feet. So I'm going to start right and then left. Now, the higher you go, the harder it might be, but you go to your limit. Belly button is in, we're breathing. Try to be a controlled movement and see if you can control the movement to where you have a softer landing on the foot. So softer landing is what I'm doing. Hard landing is this work. We want to try and get out of that. Pilates can be challenging for a lot of people, but it shouldn't be harsh. Good. And then from here, both feet are going to come down. Lift the hips. Everybody's hips lower just a little bit there. And we'll lower, lower, lower. Taking those knees back into the chest. Rock, 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 side to side. All right. So from here, we're going to prepare for some chest lifts, which are hundreds and some series of 5 abdominal work. So for these chest lifts, I'm going to keep my feet grounded. And if you want to grab your band here and kind of use it as just a little bit more engagement, you can. Excuse me. It's allergies. It's not COVID, I promise. Good. So if you're going to use your band, you'll thumb it between the pointer and the thumb. You'll be wider than shoulder width apart. You'll start with your arms up here. Those of you not using your band, your arms will still come up. You'll be a little bit more in line with the shoulders, but your palms are facing your feet. Big inhale. Zipping up from pubic bone to behind the navel. We'll nod that chin. Exhale. We're going to reach, 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 reach. I'm reaching so much, I'm going to press that band a little bit into my thighs. Other people's arms are long and low. I'm relaxing through the shoulders. And we'll lift and we'll lower. Inhale. Exhale. See, curve it up. Reach, reach, reach. Look towards the thighs. We don't want the head hanging back in space. And we'll lift and we'll lower. Good. I'm going to try a little bit of a wider grip here. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Not the chin. Reach, reach, reach. Press, press, press. Coming back up. And lower that back down. Good. So those of you that know hundreds, if you want to use the band in your hundreds today, you can. I recommend, actually, let's do this a different way. Taking that band underneath the shins, you'll crisscross over. Good. And so now, and you'll kind of pull together, so your legs have to be able to stay together here. This will be you. Notice how I don't have a wild movement here in my legs if this is what you're doing, so you need to be relatively stable. There'll be a little bit of movement like you see here, but it's not going to be like this. If you can't, lose the band. You can also not use the band in tabletop. You can also take the legs straight up towards the ceiling or anywhere along the diagonal as long as you can maintain neutral spine. Beginners, keep your feet on the ground. Good. So I'm going to demonstrate tabletop knees today, but you take your practice where you need to. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, nodding the chin. We're going to come up. I'm reaching long and low. My eyes are to my thighs. I'm going to start pumping long and strong from the shoulder. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, lift higher. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, reach deeper. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, hold. Could we lift higher and reach deeper? And exhale, bring that down. Whew. That's challenging no matter the level. I'm just going to bring the knees into the chest and rock, rock, rock side to side here. Let's take a little bit of a stretch before we go into series of 5. So we'll bring the knees in the tabletop, arms out to the side. We'll just drop those knees over towards the right, trying to keep left shoulder grounded when you look into the left. Breathe and expand the rib cage. Head back to center. You can take one leg back at a time to center or use your abs to bring both together back center. Wiggle, wiggle back to center. Let everything reset itself, and then we'll take that over to the other side. Right shoulder will ground, maybe looking to the right. Breathe and expand that rib cage. So just as a general reminder, anytime you're coming into a twist, you should be able to expand the rib cage on the inhale. And if you can't, that's your indication that you've gone too deep into your twist. So deep, deep twists where you can't breathe, maintain good form, are not more advanced twists. Pardon the language, but those are stupid twists. We get deeper into twists with practice. Good, and then head will come back to center, one leg at a time. We're using abs to bring them both there. Good, we'll take our feet back down to the ground. And I'm just gonna wiggle, wiggle from here. Good, going into series of 5. So for this first one, the single leg stretch, I'm going to be up in a C curve. Now be mindful here, if you can't keep tension out of the neck, try to tuck the chin. If you can't do that, then lower it down. If your core is engaged, you can still do this work and still work. Okay, so I'm going to come up here. My right knee is going to come into the chest. I have my left hand on my knee. I've got my right hand on that ankle. And what that does is that helps keep this optimal alignment. My left leg is long to the point where I can maintain neutral. And then I'm going to switch. And my hips don't leave the floor. I'm not rotating. Good. And 3, 4. Take a break. Or could you go with me for 5? 6. Take a break. Could you do 7? 8. Take a break, or could you go 9? And 10. Bring that back down. The legs up towards the ceiling. While we're here, let's just point and flex through those feet. Good, and roll those ankles in one direction. And then the other. And let's spread those toes wide and squeeze them together. Good. We forget about the little joints in the toes. So important for balance, so important for walking. Good. Okay. Single straight leg stretch. Arms are going to come up. Big inhale. Exhale, nod the chin. Find the C curve. I'm going to reach for behind my left calf or thigh, wherever it is you can reach. This time my right leg is going to come long. Try to pulse only the leg that you're grabbing. And then we're going to pulse, pulse, switch. Pulse, pulse, switch. 2, 3, 4. Take a break, or could you go with me for 5, 6. Take a break or go 7, 8. Take a break or go 9, and 10. Whew. Take it down, and we'll come down. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And if you ever need to just take your head and neck from side to side, we'll go double leg stretch, not double straight leg stretch will be a minute, double leg stretch. So I like to start this one with knees in. I like to start it on an exhale. So here's my exhale. I'm going to inhale. I'm going to exhale. I'm going to lift my upper body. Good. So now I'm going to inhale. I'm going to reach. So you only take your legs as low as you can maintain neutral. If the back's getting involved, your legs come up higher. And then I'm going to swing around and come in, exhale. Inhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take a break or 7, 8. Take a break or 9. And 10. Bring it in, lower it down, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Whew. Now we're coming into double straight leg stretch. This one can be done different ways. So for this one, I'm going to take my legs up and my toes are in parallel. So that just means my toes, knees, and hips are facing the same direction as my face. Some people like to come into Pilates V here, touching heels together, turning toes, knees, and hips out away from the body. That'll give you a little bit more inner thigh connection if you want that. And this can also be done with a lowered upper body or up in a C curve with arms long by your side. I'm going to keep an lower upper body here so I don't wear myself out. But from here, when you're ready, micro bend in the knee. We're going to lower to your limit. Exhale up. Inhale. Exhale. 3, 4. Take a break or go 5. Watch your pelvis. 6. Take a break or 7. 8. Take a break or go 9. And 10. Bend in those knees. Rock, rock, rock. All right. Crisscross, one of my favorites. So I'll show you this 2 ways. Beginners, your feet can stay grounded. Your hands are going to come behind your head. Your elbows are out to the side, maybe not their widest, but you don't want to have your elbows by your ears and your face either. And we're leading with the shoulder, not from the elbow. So I'm going to come up and I'm going to rotate. Notice how my elbow is kind of out here. It's not in here. I'm rotating and I'm rotating and I'm rotating. Okay. Those of you more advanced, knees are coming up and your legs are going to do the same thing they do in single leg stretch when you rotate. So now I'm rotating and I'm rotating. And when you lead with the shoulder instead of an elbow, you get more rotation, which is what we're looking for. This is oblique work for side abs. All right. So again, we'll try to go for 10. You stop where you need to stop. So feet up or grounded. Big inhale. Exhale, come up, rotate right and left. And hips stay grounded. And 3. And 4. And 5. And 6. And 7. Almost there. 8. 9. Woo. And 10. And we'll take that down and come in. Good. And gently take head and neck from side to side. Good. So arms out to the side. Just take your knees to one side. Just get a little stretchy here. Maybe not as long. And then in the way best for you, find your way back to center. take that little stretchy to the other side. And then again, in the way that's best for you, come back to center and wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. All right, we're going to come into some stretches here and a little bit of core control. So I'm going to take my band, and I'm going to take my band around the center part of my right foot. Good. And again, you want equal slack off each side. Again, check to make sure your band is flat around the foot, because if it's bunched up, it'll roll, snap, hit you in the face. You'll have a bad day. So beginners and those of us with back issues are going to be more comfortable here with the bend in the knee. Those of us that are more advanced and are okay there can extend that leg long. So be where it's appropriate for you. Find the band in each hand. Good. Little micro bend in the knee here. Let everything kind of settle down into its socket. And then we're going to take that leg in towards the face. Good. You're just going to your range. So be mindful when we're working here with this set. Pain, numbness, tingling, burning, never normal. So if you feel any of those, back off until you don't. Could we zip up a little bit more from pubic bone to behind the navel, belly button into the spine? Could we find a little bit more length from crown to tail? And we'll release here. Both straps into the right hand, both hips, both shoulders are going to be grounded and anchored here. We're going to let that leg come out towards the right. Some of you will relax it in right here. Some of you are going to do a gentle tug towards that right shoulder. Find what works best for your body in this moment. And when you're ready, we'll bring that back up. Good. Second set of single leg circles. I'm going to take a strap in each hand here. Good. I'm not going to completely lengthen this other leg, but I'm going to make it not as bendy. So everything is in. I'm drawing up and in, and I'm going to use my elbows and my upper arms as a guide and as an anchor. And then from here, I'm just going to go into the circles here. You're going to go to where you can control it. Belly button's in tight. You should feel this just below the navel. The wider the circle, the harder the control. The smaller the circle, the easier the control. Be mindful of where you're going. And yes, we are moving things around from the hip joint, but this is actually ab work. And then when you're ready, reverse. We're controlling this movement from the core muscles, both in the front and back side of the body. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, we'll bring that leg back up. We're going to do a midair switcheroo. Good. So again, make sure that band is nice and flat. You've got equal parts on each side. Take your right leg where you need to take it. Find the grip that's appropriate. Let everything settle down into its socket. Micro bend in that knee. And we're just going to bring that leg in towards the face. And breathe and expand. Zip up a little tighter from pubic bone to behind the navel. Good. Coming back up. Both bands. Left hand. Both hips, both shoulders stay grounded. Take that leg out to the left. You can let it hang out there, or you can tug it in towards the shoulder. You choose. When you're ready, we'll bring that back up. Good. A band in each hand now. Good. We're going to pull that down, elbows and arms into the floor. Find that good core connection. And then from here, just go into your circles. It doesn't matter what direction you start with. We're going to do both directions. Hips stay grounded. Good. And then when you're ready, reverse that. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, good, we'll bring that back up. Bend in the knee. We're going to remove that strap. Bring your knees in. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. From here, we're going to come onto our side now, just because if I roll over to my right side, that's the side that's going to face the camera. So this is the side I'm going to do first, but it doesn't really matter what side you do first because we're going to do the same thing to both sides and it will do the same transition. So for sideline work, beginners and those of us that have cranky shoulders or what have you will follow me and you'll be down here. Those of you that are a little bit more advanced, you can be up here on the forearm, but be mindful. You want to be supported in the shoulder. This is supported. This is hanging. We want to be up here. This is hanging in the torso. This is lifted in the torso. So you want to make sure if you're coming up here, you can maintain good form. Good. So from here, I'm just going to reach my legs long. I want to be on the hip bone. And I know I'm on my hip bone because if I reach my legs long, then they're in a parallel stack. And then once there, advanced people, you can keep that bottom leg long. Others can follow me and bend that bottom leg for a little bit more support. Good. So from here, we're still zipped up. We don't let the core go just because we're sideline. And we're going to lift for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pause. Good. We're going to go into that circle again. So we've done this now on our backs. We've done it standing. Now we're doing it side lying. Everyone feels different. So engage your core. Watch the pelvic stability. I'm just going to take it up, out, and come forward. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we're going to pause. We're going to reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Good. Put a bend in that knee. Reach for that ankle. Good. I'm going to let the knee settle here. I'm going to tighten that top glutes. I'm going to tighten my core. I'm going to take my foot just a little bit more behind me so I can feel that nice stretch right through that front of the thigh, the hip flexors, and the quads. Good. And then when you're ready, good. Place that foot here. Reach, reach, reach that bottom leg long. Everyone will reach long here. You're in a hover. Good. We're going to do 4 and 4. So we're going to lift 4, 3, 2, 1. Tiny circles. 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Okay. From here, come onto the belly. We're going to go into swan dive, and swimming today. So for swan, I'm just going to kind of wiggle, wiggle, wiggle here. We're going to come into back extension. So I'm going to take my hands a little forward and to the side here, relaxing the elbows and the shoulders. I'm going to zip up from pubic bone behind the navel, belly button into the spine. I'm going to lengthen, lengthen, lengthen through the low body. Big inhale, exhale. I'm going to find that little swan. So it's a little bit of a lift, and I'm shining my heart forward and my shoulders are in their pockets. So as long as the low back is not crunching, and you'll know it's crunching because they'll feel like it's crunching, you can stay low or you can practice coming up higher. Be mindful, swan dive is impossible if you're not in a high swan. And from here, we'll lower that back down. Lengthen, 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 engage that front body. Here we go. Swan number 2, take it to your limit. And lower down. Lengthen, 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 belly button in. Lift, lift, lift. Here's 3. And lower down. Last one here. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And we're going to come up. Good. So those of you that are going to move on with me with swan dive will stay here. Those of you where swan dive is not appropriate, you'll keep moving through swan. So swan dive, I'm going to release and catch myself. Careful not to crunch the back when you catch yourself. And 2. And 3, and 4. Good. And then from here, arms will come forward, relax for a moment, going into swimming. So I'm going to lengthen, I'm going to take my feet, actually, let's say our feet as wide as the mat today. Let's take our hands as wide as the mat today, almost kind of like an X shape. Good. So from here, Lengthen, 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 belly button in. Good. I'm going to lift upper and lower body. Those of you that don't want to move will just lower and lift here. Others, maybe opposite arm, opposite leg. So you're kind of balancing a little bit on the hip bones. You can keep this at a more gentle movement, or it's a little bit more control challenge when you take it a little bit quicker. And we breathe. Good. I'm going to slow mine down a little bit here, changing tempo. And we'll come back down. I'm going to wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Good. We're going to get sideline on the other side. So most of you are going to be fine to just roll over on the other side. I don't want my back to you, so I'm just going to come up and switch sides here. So again, practice where it's okay for you to practice. So you're going to be up and lifted, or you're going to be down here. Our legs are going to be long, or do you need to bend that bottom knee? You choose. On your hips. Zip up from front body. Here we go, and we'll lift 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. From here, a little circles. We'll go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. Watch the hips. Reverse. And 6 and 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to bend that knee, grab that ankle, let the knee settle down. Good. Squeeze that back glute, take that foot behind you, feel that hip flexor and quad stretch. Good. We'll take that foot forward, lengthen that bottom leg. Oh, sorry, lost my little earpiece microphone thing here. Good. So from here, when you're ready, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Here we go. 4 lifts and 4, 3, 2, 1. Little circles. 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse circles. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. From here, when you're ready, roll back onto the belly. We're going to do 1 plank and 1 set of push-ups here. This is where if you need that knee cushion, if you're going to do knee down plank or knee down push-ups, this can be really nice. And you've got options here as well. So a lot of people are going to start up here. Some of you are a little bit wristy, so maybe forearm plank is going to be where you work here. So be mindful of that. And you can have knees down on forearms or up high, or be up high. So from here, we're going to try this for 15 seconds. And we're going to try that starting in 3, 2, 1. Find your plank, find good form. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Take it down, child's pose. Push-ups, different push-ups for different people. Some of you, especially beginners, are going to do these push-ups on all fours. And I recommend if you're doing that, turn the fingers in just a little bit here, trying to keep shoulders stable. Elbows will come out to the side. There's going to be your push-up. More advanced people, maybe you take your knees behind you. You can lift or keep them lower. It doesn't matter. Push up here. Others are going to come up high. So find yours. This is where I'm going to be. We're going to try for 6. If one good one is all you can do, stop there. Don't plow through in bad form. And here we go when we're ready. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo! Push that back. Child's pose. Good. We're going to come to a seat here. Good. All right. So from here, we're going to come into some biceps and triceps, and then we'll finish with some mermaid stretches. So for this one, I'll show this to you from side view. I'm going to take my legs long here. I'm going to take my band around my feet. So again, make sure the band is nice and flat. You've got equal slack on both sides. Good. Now, different people are going to do the different things. Some of you are going to stay upright here, maybe wrap, maybe choke up, and then maybe your bicep curls are just like this. Others are going to take that hinge back because you want a little bit more of a core control component with it. And then maybe you bicep curl from here. Try for 8. And here we go, relaxing the shoulders. We've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hinge it forward, elbows bend, tricep kickbacks. Roll those shoulders back. And then from here, we've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we'll come back up from here. Good. We're all done with the band. But let's come across. It doesn't matter what arm's on front. Just give yourself a nice big hug. Good. Maybe a lift and lower. Take it up. Let's get one little tricep stretch here. And then the other side. Arms out, opposite arm on top. This time, give yourself a hug. Maybe a little lift and lower. Arms to the side. And we'll rotate here just to kind of stretch out those biceps a little bit. Okay, last thing, mermaid stretches. So again, different options for different people. Some people, especially if you're more familiar with reformer and the Pilates Z stance here. So you've got, I'm going to just start, this is my left leg here and my right leg, this is my right leg, this is my left leg, good. And it's kind of looking like that. Not everybody's hips or knees like this. So some people come more when you're kind of both legs to the side. Other people, that doesn't work either. And for you, just come to crisscross applesauce. It's not a big deal. You're still going to be able to side bend. You're still going to be able to rotate. So sit and be in the way that you can operate comfortably and in your best form. So I'm just going to demo Z here. Good. So from here, big inhale, reach and lengthen. Exhale, I'm going to come over to the right. Reach, reach, reach. Moving through center, counter stretching. We're going to rotate here, moving through center. Get that side bend. We're going to rotate and touch. Open to the side, move through center and counter, maybe a counter rotation. And we'll move through center and we'll come over. We're going to bend. We're going to come up. We're going to shine the heart forward a little bit here, kind of like a mermaid coming out of water, and lower down and lift halfway and open and come over and opposite rotation. Good. And back to center. So from here, whatever way you need to transition to the other side, just go ahead and do that. And how you sit on this side might not be what your body needs you to do. What your body needed you to do on the other side. So I've got days where I can do Z on one side, but not the other. So follow your body. When you're ready, big inhale, exhale, other side, side bend, move through center, take it over. Good, we'll come up, we'll come over, gentle rotation and a tap, and we'll open and move through, take it over, maybe gentle rotation. And last time, and take it over, and we rotate. And we come down and we lift and shine the heart forward and we come down and lift halfway and open and move through center and take it to the other side and optional rotation and coming back here. Wow. Thank you so much for making it through that somewhat challenging, at least for me, even to teach Pilates Matwork with the band. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope to see you again soon. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Have a great day.